Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's been just a little minute since I have been on here, but Born in a Barn has some exciting news. We moved. We're still in California and we did remain local, but we bought some property and we're gonna be building Born in a Barn. So I'm super excited about that. But for today's video, we're gonna do a paint review. It's been a little bit since I've also done one of those, and I found a paint that I was just perusing in a store the other day and thought, I gotta try it. It's just sitting there. I picked a color that I thought was gonna be a really good one for the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get our piece prepped. Today I'm using something new. It is a Krud Kutter product. It is a TSP alternative, and it says no rinse. Normally I rinse with water after I use my Krud Kutter, but today we're going to try this new product and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, so let's talk about the paint itself. What kind of paint is this? It's a water-based resin paint. Now they say it doesn't have a chalky or rough finish at all, but we'll check that out when I get the paint on the piece, because that's something I always like to do in my review videos, is feel it after it's dry. It does come in a wide variety of colors, all different kinds of blues, greens, neutrals, metallics. It is a full line, so they do have top coats and waxes and all the things. I do have a local retailer that did carry it, and she carried these small sizes, the 8-ounce size. It's also available in 16, 32, and a gallon, which is really cool because not a lot of paint lines offer that gallon. Price point is pretty competitive. It was $16.99 for a pint, which is pretty standard. This guy was $10. Again, very standard, very competitive price point. So audio didn't pick up very well, so you can see me talking. I figured I'd do a voiceover. I'm just letting you know the color I chose was Gray Mist, and the consistency of the paint is pretty thin once stirred, which I liked. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I don't heavily load up my brush either, so just keep that in mind. Less is more on the first coat. I have a lot of embellishments here, so I'm pointing that out. I like to dab when I'm brushing because it'll really get in there. If you just brush, you're gonna miss underneath, you're gonna miss on the little crevices. So I do a little bit of that dabbing. Same thing within that little line that I'm showing you there. I kind of have to turn my brush and really get it into those crevices. Otherwise, it's just gonna sit on top. The key to remember when brushing is less is more, so you want to make sure on your first coat you're not heavily loading up and don't overwork it. You'll catch anything that you missed on your second coat. We did check their website and it says that dry time is about 20 to 30 minutes, but right now it is a little bit on the cool side and there's a lot of moisture in the air here. So I'll probably give it about 30 minutes to an hour and then recoat it. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my brush in the plastic wrap, and then I'll come back and we'll do a second coat. Do you need to sand before using this paint? No. They say it is not a zero prep. You definitely want to clean and prep your piece, but I would recommend that with any paint line. Even if they say no prep, you have to prep it. You've got to clean that piece and get it ready and clean for your paint, or you can have adhesion issues or things that will bleed through. So you want to prep as you normally would, and then you can go ahead and apply your paint. Does it need to be sealed? No, she says it does not need to be sealed. The cool part about their website was their frequently asked questions section has the owner answer questions in a little 5-second, 10-second video, which I thought was very personal and very cool. So I did like that. So she says you can seal it for high traffic use pieces, but you do not have to seal your entire piece. It has a sealer built in, so that's a bonus because we all like that, right? Okay, just want to show you after coat one, and as you can see, you've got a lot of peek through there, and we're definitely going to need at least 2 coats, if not 3. I've got that side done, so we're going to go ahead now and try it in this sprayer. So I do want to tell you that most paints need to be thinned. I use a little water to dilute them. Although this is on the thinner side, when you're spraying it, in order for you to get through the sprayer successfully and have a nice finish, you don't want it too thick. I'm eyeballing it here. I talk about all the time about how to use a viscosity cup that comes with your sprayer to go ahead and get the exact sweet spot of how it should spray. Not going to go into great detail about thinning because I've talked about this several times in different videos. So if you're curious about that, go check out some of my other spray videos. I'm just showing you here how I go ahead and put it in the sprayer, putting my sprayer together, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on the other half of the table and see how it sprays. I also wanted to show you this portion of the video because so many people think it might take a long time to put this all together, and it really doesn't. Once you get it down, it's just moments to put it together and take it apart and clean it. I did go ahead and flip the table upside down just because it is much easier, especially when you're spraying, to get all the little nooks and crannies, and I want to make sure I get a completely finished project. So I like to flip it upside down first and then flip it right side up and finish off the job. I do have to say right off the bat, thinning it was perfectly done and it is spraying beautifully. I probably am more partial to spraying because that's what I do most of my work in, but it did brush very nicely too. I have to say though, it goes quickly and the finish comes out absolutely beautiful. I'll show you after the first coat is dry. It's still wet, but I just wanted to show you the coverage with the first coat. I have to say is a lot better than the brushing. All right, so we're gonna go ahead now and do the second coat. And again, all I'm doing is the same exact motions. I'm trying to get in all the little nooks and crannies. This table in particular has a lot of them. It's got a lot of embellishments, and I'm just doing nice fluid strokes like I always do when I spray. And I have to tell you, 2 coats of spraying coverage and I think we're going to be done. I'm probably going to go over the brush sections that I did so that I can just get the nice same even finish. But I will say with the brush section, I feel like it needed 1 more coat, whereas the spray, I'm only doing 2 coats and I'm getting just beautiful coverage. So I wasn't sure the direction I was going to go with this project. I did go ahead and decide to paint the top as well, and it laid down absolutely beautiful. The whole piece sprayed so nicely. All right, so here's the final result. I wanted to show you guys really close. It sprayed beautifully. I have to say, if I had to choose, I would spray it over brushing it. It brushed just fine. It just required more coats brushing than it did spraying. All right, you guys, that is it. We are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that video was helpful for you. I sure do like doing these paint reviews where I brush part of the piece and spray the other part. That way you get a full idea of how the paint goes on. Thank you so much for being subscribers. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you go hit that subscribe button as well as the post notification bell. That way you get noticed when all of my latest videos are released. I sure do appreciate the support and it helps keep my channel going. Also, you can always feel free to buy me a coffee. If you don't know what that is, go to buymeacoffee.com and check it out. You'll see the little coffee icon on my homepage, and you can go buy me a coffee. Help support my channel. If you have any positive comments or questions, make sure you leave them down below. I will always answer your questions, and I love engaging with you guys. Thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.